On last Monday, the 12th, I've met Colonel Holland, the commander of U.S. Army garrison Camp Humphreys, what is said to be its largest overseas base. On completion of every installation in 2018, it is going to be 5 times larger than the Yeouido in Seoul. The interview was taken inside the new building that is getting ready to open in October. The new building compound, which is called the One-Stop Processing Center, will be provided the in-processing and out-processing to the military personnel comes and leaves the country. Colonel Holland called the building as heart of Camp Humphreys, and it really means for its location and the service will be provided. Hello, this is YBC News. Today, I have an honor to interview with Colonel Holland in Garrison Humphreys. He has been served as a garrison commander for 2 years. He's been making the great effort for Republic of Korea-U.S. relations while supporting the defense security of this country.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, what does Republic of Korea mean to you?
The Republic of Korea is a wonderful country and nation, very friendly people. That's my experience here in Korea. For the past 2 years, we have shared this home in the Republic of Korea, and I'd never been here before. All of my career, now 27 years in the Army, I'd never been to Korea before. I'd only heard stories about this place, and when I arrived here, my impression of the Republic of Korea was one of great resilience, great capabilities, a wonderful democracy for really the entire region to enjoy and to experience right here in Northeast Asia.
On your duty period in Korea, what's your major projects or an issue that you've been focused on?
So as the garrison commander here at Humphreys in Pyeongtaek, I've been most concerned about keeping our forces ready to be able to deter and then to defeat an aggressor from the north. And it's not that my forces will do that, but we have to provide the services and the capabilities here on this place to allow the mission forces around here to be able to do that. So that's been my primary focus. Then the other focus that I've had as the garrison commander is to make sure that we can provide for our children and their families, for the families that are here, to make sure that they have a good place to live, a good place to receive services to support them, and to make sure that we care for the families here in Korea. Then the third thing that I would say that I've been focused on is building this place that is almost all brand new. And if it's not brand new, we are putting some money into it to recreate it, to refurbish it, so that the people that are living and working here, they have a good place to live, a good quality of life here in Central Korea.
We have had some political chaos for the last several months, as you witnessed. Have you had any difficulty or trouble because of that?
No, so I would say as an American, this is something that we appreciate. That even all of the political turmoil that you're experiencing here in the Republic of Korea, this is actually something that is very meaningful for we Americans to be able to see. It is part of a democratic process. We should not be afraid of what we're seeing. In fact, the result is favorable for the Korean people. And our alliance will go through some changes because the leaders at the very senior level, they will talk and they will have conversations, but at the lower level, where people to people meet every day, and we talk about how to make this place a better place to live, the relationships will go on and they will get stronger over time. So I'm not afraid of this political turmoil. In fact, most Americans, we've not seen the protests that generally have occurred all in Seoul And even with the latest challenges that we've seen between our nations at the strategic level, this is something that every nation goes through when a new administration comes in, and we're actually very happy to see this change and very accepting of the change.
There are events and festivals held frequently in local area to enhance friendship between our local Koreans and U.S. military members and their families. What is the most exciting event you can recommend to your friends or U.S. citizens?
We just got finished the combined Spring Fest and One Heart Festival in Anjangri and in Camp Humphreys, where we opened up the gates and we allowed the Korean community to come inside the gate and experience a little bit of American culture. And at the same time, the gate was open to allow the Americans to go out and experience the local culture and the food. And really, this was a wonderful experience and a very good collaboration between the city of Pyeongtaek and the city of Camp Humphreys to come together to make this festival happen. But that's not the only one. We also have, and I've seen this now 3 years in a row, the Mato Festival in Anjangri, but also many other events, Anjangri, Pyeongtaek, down in Asan, Chonan. So it's a wide community that has got a lot of things going on, and there's always something to do for our Americans here to be able to get out into the community, even if it is one-on-one to go climb a mountain or to go biking, hiking, or to go experience a little local culture. It's a great opportunity and a wonderful place to live.
Is there any cultural understanding or mistake in those events which need to just encouraging participation of U.S. military and their families for the events or festival?
So as each of these events has occurred in my time that I've been here, it's been a very warm and welcoming event. I think sometimes Americans are somewhat timid to be able to get out and to experience the culture where we live, if we're living overseas. I would tell all of the people here at Camp Humphreys, and certainly people living in the local community, that these events are for them. This is an opportunity to get out and experience this great culture here in Pyeongtaek, the great culture in Korea, and to get out and have a good time and have fun and enjoy what you're living in the middle of here. This is a great place to live.
Is there a specific reason to keep holding the military installation, opening events? For we understand that the events must take a risk of terror or other harmful threats to the safety of U.S. military?
Right, so we do have a lot of things that we must do to secure the base, to make sure that this is a safe place for the forces to be stationed and for them to work, and then for the families that are living here to be living on the base and in the local community as well. I would say that we have a very good relationship with the KNP, the Korean National Police, the Pangsong station here, and the Pyeongtaek chief, Mr. Che, has done a great job with his members on the police force so that we have a good feeling of security in the area, and it is a great relationship we have. So really, it's one of those things where you see in the news where there's incidents outside of Korea. Don't be worried about what's going on here. I think the Republic of Korea and the U.S. working together have a very good relationship and a strong security mechanism to prevent harm from happening, terrorist events or other things here in Korea. And of course, we're always on the lookout for something that may happen. And we have lots of information going out into the community, and we have rehearsals and practices inside the base for exercises to help us be ready if something should happen.
Of course, we do have some anti-U.S. organizations, but also we do have lots of voices that strengthen we need to strengthen U.S. and Republic of Korea alliances. Nevertheless, have you ever felt disappointment or hurt when the anti-U.S. voices be heard?
So, as part of a democratic society, there will be a minority of voices who express displeasure or distrust of the government or policies, etc. That's always going to happen. But that's a good free expression that we, as security members, we're here to protect that. We are here to protect the people to be able to demonstrate. We are here to protect the people to have a voice, even if it is dissent. And so this is how change happens. As an American living in Korea, it's not disappointing for me to see the protest, to see the dissent. It's actually something that's powerful to see. So certainly we've had some protests against certain measures and policies that on the security side, we want to make sure that we are providing for increased security here in Korea. And really, I think what we can do is continue to just support the Korean people and support the security measures here to make sure that that Korea, the Republic of Korea, remains a safe place for the 58 million people that live here in this very large economic development that's happening in Korea, something that we have to sustain here. And so I think all we really are trying to do is make sure the truth is being told about what we're providing here for the security and the safety of the Korean people.
When you feel like to visit Republic of Korea again later, is there any particular places do you like to visit for vacation or other occasion?
Yes, so I recently had the opportunity to go to Busan 2 weekends ago. It was absolutely the most beautiful trip I've had in Korea. We visited and we went to the beach down in Hongdae Beach. We went out to a small fishing village, and I don't think there were many Americans that ever visited there. We also went down and we visited a number of other places like the cultural village in Busan, which is up on the hill, I think Gwecheon Cultural Village. It reminded me of going to visit Greece or Italy, right here in Korea. What a wonderful place. And Busan, of course, has got the subway system very much like Seoul. It has a bus system much like Seoul, but it also has the beach. And so what a great place to visit. The other place that I visited is Soraksan and Sokcho on the East Coast. And this is a wonderful place to visit as well because you have the mountains and the beach right there. And so whether you like to be up in the mountains in the forest hiking, go to the Buddhist temple back there, or you go to the beach and just catch some rays, what a great place to go because you have both in the same place. And so I recommend highly to go to Busan or to go to Sokcho and Soraksan. These places I've visited and I've had a great time. Plus, the other thing I'll tell you, I didn't get to visit there, but I've driven by a couple of times, is Pyeongchang, and the Winter Olympics coming up. And so this is going to have a great impact on Korea because of tourism and bringing some of the winter sports here to the Republic of Korea. We only hope that it snows and gets cold enough so they don't have to make too much artificial snow this winter.
Okay, finally, the last question. A word to Pyeongtaek and ASEAN citizens and Korean people.
So I think as I'm getting ready to leave here, I have been so happy to have met so many different people, whether they be in the government or in the security forces or fire department or police, but also in the organizations that are working with us through organizations like PIF, Pyeongtaek International Exchange Foundation, people-to-people organizations, Korean American Friendship Associations. It's not that they treated me well, but they treat all of the soldiers and their families very well. And so I really appreciate the great support that we have in Pyeongtaek from the people of Pyeongtaek. what a great place this is to live and to work and to have a great time here in this really the new economic center for the Republic of Korea.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
It was great
네,
conversation
지금까지
with
홀랜드
Connor
대령님
Holland
모시고
today.
이야기
As tensions
나눠봤는데요.
grow in region, keeping the
점점
good
더
relationship
한미
between
구도가
U.S.
더욱
Republic of
중요해지고
Korea
있습니다.
is one of the most
그만큼
important things.
2년간
Today, I want to
수고해주신
express
홀랜드
special
대령님께
thanks to
감사의
Connor
말씀
Holland and his hard work to be a
전하면서
good friend for
지금까지
last
YBC
2
뉴스
years.
스페셜 인터뷰
Till now, it was a
시간이었습니다.
special
시청해주셔서
interview time.
감사합니다.
See you on the next.
Okay, thank you, Colonel.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.